Imagine waking up to news that the U.S. military has captured a sitting president in a daring raid, sparking chaos, witness dances of joy and hope in the street, and look out for a potential oil bonanza. That's Venezuela right now, and it's about to change everything. With Maduro gone, the oil taps are about to open, and fortunes will be made. Let's unpack what is happening in Venezuela. From political chaos to economic collapse, and now a stunning regime change. We'll answer three big questions. What exactly happened in Venezuela? Will life for everyday Venezuelans finally get better? And, controversially, how can savvy investors profit from this situation? Stick around, we've got history, analysis, and actionable insights for you. Let's jump in. What happened in Venezuela? To understand Venezuela today, we need to go back. Venezuela was once South America's richest nation, thanks to the world's largest proven oil reserves. But under Hugo Chavez starting in 1999, and then Nicolas Maduro from 2013, things spiraled. Chavez's socialist policies nationalized industries, redistributed wealth, but also led to corruption and inefficiency. Maduro inherited a mess. Oil prices crashed, sanctions piled on, and hyperinflation hit peaks over 1,000,000% in 2018. Fast forward to 2024, the flashpoint, presidential elections on July 28th. Maduro claimed victory with 51% of the vote, but the opposition, led by Edmundo Gonzalez and Maria Corina Machado, cried foul, alleging massive fraud. International observers, including the US and EU, refused to recognize the results, sparking nationwide protests. Human Rights Watch documented intensified repression, arrests, killings, and targeting of activists. 2025 was brutal. Maduro's regime cracked down harder. Over 2,000 arbitrary detentions post-election, according to the US State Department. Economically, while Maduro boasted 9% GDP growth, independent sources painted a different picture. 270% inflation, 80% currency depreciation, and a zombie economy barely surviving on Chevron's oil operations under U.S. licenses. Migration continued. Over 7 million Venezuelans fled since 2014. Then, late 2025 into 2026, escalation with the U.S. under President Trump, new sanctions, military posturing, a carrier strike group deployed to the Caribbean, reports of blackouts, explosions, and GPS jamming in Venezuela. Maduro accused the U.S. of sabotage. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado urged forces to stand down, signaling the decisive hour. The climax? In early January 2026, U.S. forces captured Maduro in a swift operation. Opposition forces mobilized to secure buildings in Caracas. Trump announced the U.S. would oversee a transition, aiming to revitalize Venezuela's oil. Maduro's cabinet and military held initially, but cracks appeared, some defections reported on X. This isn't just politics. It's a full-blown regime change, echoing past U.S. interventions but driven by oil and anti-socialism rhetoric. Will life for Venezuelans get better now? Short answer, potentially yes, but it's no quick fix. With Maduro out, the opposition, backed by the U.S., promises democracy, free markets, and humanitarian aid. The EU and UN are gearing up for support per recent reports. Economically, Venezuela's GDP is projected at 139 billion in 2025, but debt exceeds 150 billion, 180% of GDP. Oil production, now at 1.1 million barrels a day, could double or triple with U.S. investment, analysts say. That means jobs, revenue for social programs. But challenges loom. Infrastructure is wrecked. Petróleos de Venezuela needs $709 billion in repairs. Recent rationing and exchange rate spikes signal short-term pain. Civil war risks if loyalists resist. The International Monetary Fund warns of ongoing humanitarian needs, food insecurity, health crises. So, what is Trump's plan? Seize and revitalize oil, potentially lowering global prices and boosting Venezuela's economy. For citizens, Better access to basics, reduced repression, and return of migrants could transform lives. But transition instability might worsen things first. My take, 2026 could be rocky, but by 2027, 2028, signs point up if corruption is curbed and aid flows. How to profit from the situation. Alright, now the edgy part, how to profit. Disclaimer, this isn't financial advice. Markets are volatile, especially here. Consult pros, and remember, profiting from crises isn't for everyone. With that out of the way, Venezuela's shift may open doors. Key sector, oil. With Maduro gone, U.S. firms might be poised to expand. Stocks I am watching, Chevron, which is already operating there. I am also having my eye on service giants Schlumberger and Baker Hughes for infrastructure rebuilds, estimated at billions. Let's also talk about distressed debt. Venezuela's bonds trade at pennies. If recovery happens, yields could skyrocket, but the risk of default is high. Wall Street eyes this, and groups of U.S. investors already plan trips for oil and tourism deals. Broader plays are energy ETFs like XLE, or companies benefiting from lower oil prices like airlines and consumer products. I might open a position in Venezuelan exposed firms if production ramps. Tourism could boom post-stability, beautiful beaches, untapped potential. What are the risks? Geopolitical blowback, delays in output. But Forbes calls Venezuela's oil a 45 trillion supply shock. I will stay diversified and allocate 5 to 10% of my portfolio max into this opportunity. Conclusion. What did we learn today? Venezuela's story is cautionary. Resource wealth meets bad governance equals disaster. But with change, hope emerges. Lives might improve and opportunities arise. What do you think? Comment below. Like, subscribe for more global breakdowns. Thanks for watching. Stay informed. Stay ahead.